Mobility is really the active component of being able to control your movement throughout your range of motion. And so what makes it different than flexibility is let me try to go into my end range of motion and just hold as long as I can, or passively kind of pull my leg back. But mobility is really that aspect of, I'm going hiking. Can I lift my leg actively up to this rock in order for me to climb, in order for me to function? If I'm starting to fall, can I put my leg out to the side and kind of catch myself without pulling a muscle and without injuring myself? So it's that ability to control our range of motion and have greater ability within our range of motion within our body to help prevent things like injuries and pain. I think it's really easy sometimes, like acutely we get into, we feel our back hurt or we feel our neck hurt and we just want to stretch that area. I think the hesitancy I have with acutely stretching is that we're only addressing the symptom. We're not really addressing the cause of why you started having tension build up or why you started having pain there in the first place. And then we fall into this cycle of, oh, I'm working, I feel my neck kind of turning on, so I'm just gonna stretch it. And then we need that every single time, but we're not really getting to the reason why. Well, why is that neck starting to hurt every day in the first place? Or why is that low back hurting every day in the first place? And a lot of times, I think we have to realize where the pain or ache or tension is starting, especially acutely, doesn't necessarily mean that that's the problem area, that's the root cause area. And so sometimes, for example, if you're sitting all day at a desk and your low back is starting to get really tense and tight, rather than just stretching out the low back because it's probably already in a rounded position, it's probably already taking a lot of tension, what if we got off our desk and stretched our hips? What if we did something different around the area that still would contribute to the area where we're feeling tension? I think the number one kind of area that everyone can do when it comes to mobility is understanding our root cause of wanting to increase our mobility. So our root cause really of feeling stiff and tight and wanting to open up is a lot of times how we're breathing. And this is an area that not a lot of people dive into, and it's where almost all of our programs start, because if you don't have the capacity to really understand where our breath is coming from, use our diaphragm to assist it and change how our nervous system is really processing with these stretches, well then you're gonna go into mobility and continue to feel tight. Especially in a time when I started to grow, mobility wasn't really known, it wasn't talked about, it wasn't being shown enough. And so I would kind of start my injury series about, here's the mobility that you need before we start strength training. Then we go into our skill, and then we go and specialize a little bit more. So really being able to walk that journey, people gravitated toward the things that I would talk about in the very beginning, before you start corrective exercises, before you start strengthening, and that was mobility.